Hey there, I'm John,
And I'm Josh.
and we are going to talk about week three. It's coming up, and what's going to be going on this week. We're going to start off with Arizona, who's ranked number 20 against number 14 Kansas State, who struggled last week. Yeah, this is going to be a Friday night game. Thoughts on this one?
I think this is a tough turnaround for Kansas State, right? It's a Friday game, so they have one less day to recover and plan. Coming off of a really close game to Tulane. I actually might. No, it's at home. I'm going to give the nod to Kansas State.
Okay.
I think they'll be able to recover, but I anticipate it being pretty close.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good battle. Alabama's going to be on the road, ranked number 4, so they didn't drop after this past week,
No,
which is surprising.
Yeah, I'm confused why Oregon keeps dropping.
Yeah,
but Alabama doesn't.
well, I think it's probably because of that final score.
Man, they just look so bad.
They did, but they're going to be at Wisconsin, and so. My gut tells me that they're going to win it just because, they're going to overpower them.
Yeah.
But the question is, are they going to keep on doing the garbage that they've been doing?
I have to
so
think
far.
that Alabama wins by 21 plus here. I watched the Wisconsin's first game, and then they struggled against South Dakota. Plus Wisconsin is universally known as like the most boring offense of all time, just year in and year out. So I think Alabama's defense alone is good enough to just hold Wisconsin to a goose egg, probably.
Yeah. But we'll see. I know DeBoer's got to work on cutting those penalties, keeping those to a minimum, and Alabama, y'all got to hold on to the ball.
Hey, Ryan Williams, I'd love to, the 17-year-old. Let's see him keep absolutely succeeding there. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's from Saraland, down near Mobile.
There you go.
An
Alabama native.
Yep.
I love that, actually.
Yep. Then you have number 16, LSU. They're going to be at South Carolina. This may be game day. This one,
really,
it was supposed to be the Georgia game against Kentucky, but nobody's interested in Georgia versus Kentucky anymore.
Nobody's interested in LSU or South Carolina.
They're more interested in this one because of what South Carolina did against Kentucky.
Yeah, but
this
here's
past
the thing:
week.
LSU's already lost, right?
That is true.
And then South Carolina
struggled against Old Dominion.
Obviously, they destroyed. I just honestly I just don't care about this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting game day choice for me, especially with some of the rivalries that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely.
So interesting. I think.
You think LSU is going to take care of business?
I'm not that
do we have
impressed
some
with
Beaver
LSU,
ball
actually.
going? I know it.
LSU barely lost to USC, right?
Yeah.
So I still have to lean towards LSU
okay.
right now.
All right. Then you have number 24, Boston College. They're going to be at number 6, Missouri. Why Boston College?
Why is Boston College ranked for beating what? A trash FSU? A bad FSU?
Yeah.
I think Missouri destroys Boston College.
Now, the question is number 6 too high for Missouri, or is that legit? How do you feel about that?
Going into the season, obviously AP polls as a general, especially this early on, kind of bogus, right?
Sure.
It's a lot of estimation.
guess.
We're going into week 3, so we have a little more of an understanding what teams look like. But Missouri, I think they're a pretty good team, man.
Yeah.
I really think they're a pretty good team. 0 points. Obviously, their opponents weren't like that incredible, but still, 0 points in 2 games, that's crazy.
That is.
So can Boston College score? Probably, but I don't anticipate it being a lot.
Yeah. Okay, then you have an in-state rivalry. You've got number 9, Oregon. It's going to be at Oregon State. So what's going to happen here?
Previously known as the Civil War, now I think it's just called the rivalry. Don't know why they did that.
That's exciting.
I think, rivalries like this, I never want to say that Oregon State doesn't have a chance. But man, especially after struggling against Idaho, struggling against Boise State, Oregon needs a staple win. They need, or they're going to keep dropping in the rankings, right? So
if they struggle against Oregon State, they'll be in trouble.
I
would be surprised if they did.
As a Boise fan, I'll be cheering for Oregon the rest of the way because if Oregon, beats Ohio State, wins the Big Ten, that makes Boise look incredible, right?
Yeah.
So, but we also play Oregon State later on in the season, so
that's a good point. Yeah.
Oregon wins.
Okay.
I think they win big.
Then you have the surprisingly disappointing number 18, Notre Dame. They're going to be at Purdue. Purdue's only played one other game, won it. Can't imagine them coming out and giving Notre Dame any trouble.
Notre Dame can't afford.
They can't afford it
to lose back
at all.
They really
at
can't.
all. Yeah. Purdue. You never know about Purdue though.
That's true.
They can pull something like this off. So
my hope here is that maybe Notre Dame doesn't have that great of a season and realizes they need to join the conference.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. I do think Notre Dame wins.
Okay. And then you have number 1 Georgia at Kentucky. This became incredibly uninteresting as of this past week.
49-0. Is that too
It
bold of a
could really
prediction?
potentially. Kentucky really may not score on them.
Yeah.
And then you have Washington, another in-state one, Washington State at Washington. Both of them going into this 2-0.
It's weird talking about these games and it
it's
not
not
being
Pac-12
rivalries.
I know.
Now, obviously, Oregon State and Washington State both in the Pac-2.
Yeah.
But I almost chose this as my upset. Or one of my 2 upsets. I really did. I think Washington State could compete with Washington. I really do. I think Washington State's offense has shown some sparks and some I don't know, good signs of success here early on. So I guess we'll see what happens.
So you're voting for the little brother in this one.
I think they could. Yeah.
All right. Our group of 5 focus. So let's talk about that.
Yep. Number 25, Northern Illinois is now number 1 on that list
Made it in
after
there.
beating Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They're on a bye week. Number 27, Boise State, right there on the cusp of it. They're on a bye week.
Yeah.
So we can kind of skip down to some of the lower ranked teams, right? So we're looking at UTEP is at number 36, Liberty. By 36, this is the AP poll.
Yeah.
So I mean, Liberty's struggling, but I still have to think they're gonna
Win that one.
I'm just waiting for them to win in a dominant fashion. You know. But UTEP is not a great team.
No.
So.
No. Now, Tulane would show that they're
What a schedule,
a
by
good
the way.
team. They're a good team.
Yeah, Tulane's scheduling some tough teams
Number
out
15, Oklahoma. So that's another big one for Tulane.
So Oklahoma struggled against Houston last week, right? So, and then Houston got blown up by UNLV. So it's just kind of a college football, man. Am I right? It's just a crazy sport. But I think, man, if Tulane even competes, right, just keep it close, especially after playing Kansas State literally a week ago. Like, keep it close, and man, am I impressed, right?
Yeah,
so we'll see what they can do. I mean, it obviously helps me as a different group of 5 fan for them to lose, but at the same time, I love seeing the underdogs win games like this, especially group of 5.
Then you got UNLV. They're going to be against Kansas this week.
I think this is a really interesting game. Right, I mean, they're 5 rankings away from each other. UNLV is 38, Kansas is 33. UNLV has looked very good at the beginning of the season. Obviously, beating Houston, like I said, and then they played like Utah Tech or something last week, which doesn't matter. Kansas just lost.
Yeah,
they were ranked. Lost
sure
to
were.
Illinois. Both of these teams very good. I didn't know who to pick to win, which is why I didn't choose like my upset or anything. But I think UNLV will compete.
Okay. Speaking of upsets, so what you got for us?
Colorado and Colorado State.
Ooh,
man, this one was tough for me to pick, especially after Colorado just really got dominated against Nebraska.
Yeah.
And are they really going to lose back-to-back games? But this game last year was one of the best football games of the season. I mean, the players were fighting. It was, some arguably just dirty hits by Colorado State in the game, but I think Colorado State might come in here and actually win this year against Colorado.
Okay, that would be monstrous.
Yep.
At this point in the season.
Now, this one I don't understand.
Okay.
Number 30 Memphis is somehow not favored against 0-2 Florida State. But I'll tell you what, it's like Florida State's favored by like 5.5 points or something, so it's not a lot.
Yeah.
I think Memphis dominates this game.
Whoa.
We'll see what happens, but I really think Memphis comes in here and continues to show that Florida State cannot compete. If they don't, it's a lose-lose for Florida State.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right, Florida State wins, I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
And Florida State loses, everyone's like, you're 0-3. This might be a coach firing in the middle of the season
It
at
really
the rate
might.
we're going here.
Yeah.
So if DJ is still QB at Florida State, I will pick against them every week.
Again, with this one, I'm not sure what their depth is. So I don't know
You're
who
Florida
they've got
State.
behind
You better have
DJ.
depth.
They better. But some of the other teams, like I mentioned, Auburn doesn't.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
so
point.
it's like, good grief. All right. That is our week 3 predictions. Stick around when we talk about the results.
Go Broncos.